saying?
You're a politician. This is public, and you're here to talk to people who are in your district, and I am one of those people.
This is Susan Bassey, and you're watching what it looks like to hold public officials accountable in your local community. This is Supervisor Joe Simitian, and he's in charge of the wealthiest areas in Silicon Valley. In Santa Clara County, those areas would be Los Gatos, Los Altos, and Palo Alto, all of which sits in Joe's district. I'm asking Joe about $250,000 that he recently gave to a charity that appears to be engaged in some unlawful activity. Joe told me he's referred the charity to the district attorney, the county counsel, and the county executive, but he didn't tell me how he came to the decision himself to give this charity $250,000.
The county executive and the district attorney. That's what you do when people give you information that has serious implications.
The serious implications are that Joe Simitian, a county supervisor, gave $250,000 to a charity that is acting as a runner and capper for attorneys in Silicon Valley. Attorneys mostly connected to the family courts, where Ms. Patrick, the founder of Women SV, reportedly is referring these women to divorce attorneys, and those divorce attorneys are then in turn losing the cases for the benefit of Silicon Valley executives who have a great deal of money and who have a lawyer on the other side who is the winning lawyer in the case, as Jim Hoover and other divorce lawyers taking business from Women SV appear to be losing their clients' cases on purpose and covering up crimes of the powerful and wealthy in Silicon Valley.
I have shared the information with the appropriate authorities.
What about your decision to give her $250,000? Did you
just
review?
answered your question.
No, I'm asking you another question. Did you review the standard?
I'm sorry, but I'm going to get to the next person, and I'm going to say thank you very much. I'm done with the conversation.
You're at a farmer's market in the middle of Los Altos.
In criminal court, you have a right to a trial within 30 days. Criminal courts cost taxpayers money, and therefore they want to get trials over with. They want to minimize the ability to have to call jurors in and pay more money to have public court trials. In family court, you don't have a right to an attorney, and if you want an attorney, you have to be able to pay for one. Part of the scheme that we've been investigating with Women SV is the fact that they drag in high net worth women who are alleging that they are victims of domestic violence, and Women SV then sends these women to divorce attorneys who will then purposely have them pay them to lose their cases. And that leaves the women unable to continue to afford to live in Silicon Valley, and many of them leave the state without their children, without their homes, and without the money that they had earned all of their life that was considered community property.
Hi, Joe. How are you?
I'm fine.
Susan Bassey. I'd like to talk to you about Women SV and you giving them $250,000 of our tax money. I now have 61 women that have come forward with the pattern of running and capping and referring business to lawyers. You also have in your district the Greenberg Trauring law firm.
Susan, excuse me.
I'd like to.
No, excuse me. If you're going to film, that's okay. You don't have to.
I don't have to ask your permission, and I don't even have to tell you. I know it's okay.
No, I'm
going to go back to my question.
Okay,
my question is, did you refer Women SV to County Counsel to audit what they are doing, as you said in your email that you did?
Once I saw the article,
yes,
I referred the matter, including the entire contents of the article, to the county counsel, the county executive, and the district attorney. I did all of that within 2 weeks of reviewing the article and making a half dozen phone calls to do a little due diligence.
And did you get my email about Jeff Rosen having a conflict, given the fact that he was campaigning through Women SV?
I just answered your question. I'm not going to let you cross-examine me here on the street.
If you were listening, I was asking questions to a politician who responded like a lawyer, saying that I was cross-examining him by asking questions on a public sidewalk when he had paid for a political booth to attend a farmer's market. He's not a farmer. He didn't have any food to offer. He didn't grow anything that he brought to share with anybody, and he wasn't selling anything except himself, which makes him a politician who gave $250,000 to a charity that is duping donors, discriminating against men, and harming women financially, so they are effectively moving out of California, away from their homes and away from their children because of family court. and the scam going on with Women SV.
Joe,
But
you
said-
gave $250,000 of our money to a woman who is committing fraud and harming women in your district. I have 61 of them, and that's what I found through manual investigative reporting. I am sure there are more. And now we have the Allan Kassenoff case, which is 23 million views on a video of how her husband, who was an attorney, was treating her. And everything that happened in her divorce is very similar to those women at Women SV.
And I'm going to say again, whether you choose to share it or not, that the information was shared with the county council, the county executive, and the district attorney. That's what you do when people give you information that has serious implications, and I have shared the information with the appropriate authorities.
What about your decision to give her $250,000?
I
Did
have
you
just
review?
answered your question.
No, I'm asking you another question. Did you review the standard?
I'm sorry, but I'm going to get to the next person, and I'm going to say thank you very much. I'm done with the conversation.
You're at a farmer's market in the middle of Los Altos. You're a politician. This is public, and you're here to talk to people who are in your district, and I am one of those people.
I have just talked to you, and I'm going to talk to somebody else, but I'm not going to stand here and let you make the case the way you're attempting to make the case.
Sir, I don't know how you
Thanks
think
very
I'm
much.
trying
Would
to
you
make
like
a
to
case.
come here and talk to me about it?
Did you give Ruth Patrick $250,000?
No.
Ma'am, how can I help?
Do you know about it? Do you know about 61 women? Do you want to know about it? What is your name? Why do you want to talk to me? Do you want to talk about it?
Offering to want to talk to her. Yep.
Let him go. Hi.
Hi. Nice to meet you, Gloria.
Hi, Gloria. Why don't you come on over?
This is the part of the video where I go from investigative reporter to local resident and activist, because I happen to live in this community, and this is a farmer's market that I've always enjoyed going to. But on this day, this was a market full of Karens. Karens telling me not to record them. Karens protecting this snowflake politician who didn't want to answer my question. If you'll watch, Mr. Simitian uses his young intern staff. He uses everybody else around him, all women, to help him out. So I'm going to give him some questions that you're not used to hearing me do, because I usually edit this out. But I'm going to show you what it's like to be an activist journalist on social media.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to ask the leader here and we'll explore whether
they're not going to give
there's
you all
something
the
that can be done either at the county level or whether there might be some other venue where somebody can.
And this is where I put on my local hat, because Gloria had questions about where to deposit her prescription medications that she was done using, and Joe decided to spend 15 minutes talking to her about that instead of just mentioning to her that she could go down to the local police department that we fund and deposit it there where they have a box for her to do so. We have too many people sitting home all day long worrying about us recording in public and where to drop our prescription drugs, and not worrying about what's going on in their local government, in their local courts, and their communities. And we're going to start to show what's going on in our communities if we have to go to every single farmer's market across the country and teach all the Karens shopping at that market exactly what's going on, and teach the Karens to pick up a camera and start doing their job, watchdogging their community as well.
You're giving money to charities that are committing fraud and that are harming the women. You paid them public money. You are continuing to endorse, support, and elevate people who are abusing their spouses. Do you have a comment about that? $250,000, Mr. Simitian. You funded that.
Hey there. Yeah, I don't know.
This is where I go activists. I actually thought that Joe Simitian was calling the police on me, but I wasn't quite sure, and so I kept recording and kept trying to hear what he was saying. He literally was confused about what to do about somebody asking him questions and recording him. He seemed to call on every Karen in Los Altos to help him. The guy had absolutely no testicles whatsoever, and he is the guy who just gave Women SV $250,000 of our taxpayer money. If this isn't the biggest waste of tax resources that I have ever seen in my life, I don't know what is. And Joe Simitian used to sit on the county's government and finance board, and he worked with the federal government, and so they all know what Joe Simitian is doing too. We've called the FBI, and they don't come. And so the number one rule about don't call the cops, don't talk to cops, there's some reasons we don't do that. But all the Karens in Los Altos don't know that yet. And even the politicians don't know that it's okay to ask questions and to record in public. And that's not stalking, and that's not something that you call the cops about. Even if you live in Los Altos, even if you live in Palo Alto. Because I've put Los Altos up on my YouTube channel, and I won't hesitate to put Palo Alto up when all those women start going out to the Greenberg law firm and start protesting what they did to Allan Kassenoff. And so anybody who wants to hear what I asked and what I said to Joe Simitian, I know he wasn't smart enough to record me. I know I wasn't on a body cam, so only I know what's on those videos. Only I know what I said, what he said, what was on that phone, and what he was doing. I also happen to know that he's so dumb with technology that he was standing there in the middle of Silicon Valley, not knowing what to do about someone asking him questions in public, and he thought that he was calling an Uber. And when he thought he was calling an Uber, he ran up to some lady's car, tried to get in it. She goes, "I don't even know you." He goes, "Oh, I thought she was an Uber driver." And I'll show you what I said to him, but I need you to like, share, and subscribe, or donate if possible.
Never let strange men in your car. Good job. Keep the doors locked. You don't think that was a little white entitlement? You see a car pull up to the curb and you think your Uber's here? That was a good one. Do you know what white entitlement is, Mr. Simitian? It's what you're doing right now. It's where you think that all you have to do is just make a referral and that your hands are clean. Your hands aren't clean. For those 61 women, your hands aren't clean. $250,000 you gave Women SV. That's a lot of money. And 90% of it went to Ruth Patrick's salary. Oh, except she spent $600 on charm bracelets that would notify the judges who was a real victim of domestic violence. Did you know that? The women told me that she would give them the charm bracelet and say, if you wear this, and here's a pin too, that'll really let the judges know that you're a real victim of domestic violence. Would you know a real victim of domestic violence, Mr. Simitian?